6 dogs were found dead at an animal rescue in Bucksport.
Now the owner is under investigation for animal cruelty. According to court documents, authorities were first called to Coastal Dreams Rescue and Sanctuary on Millvale Road on July 30th. That's when volunteers reported finding animal remains as well as 28 living dogs. They say many of the dogs were very thin, in poor health, and living in inhumane conditions.
The court documents say Coastal Dreams owner Alicia Krudaleski was away from the property that day after going to the hospital with an undisclosed illness. An agent with the Animal Welfare Program, the State Animal Welfare Program, returned the following day to search the property further. He reported seizing 6 sets of dog remains, which were found in trash bags and crates.
TV5 reached out to Krudaleski for comment, but she has not returned our call. To those who knew Krudaleski, this news comes as a shock. Devin Curtis of Herman adopted 2 dogs from Coastal Dreams before hosting fundraisers for the rescue. She says she was heartbroken to learn about these revelations.
When I would hear, like, the next morning, like, I heard one of my dogs, like, whining, like, hey, Mom, come on. They're on a bed with bedding that they rip off and make a nest in every night. They've got an air conditioner, they have a radio playing, like, but hearing that whining, all I could think of is how can you be around and listen to dogs whining and barking and whimpering because they're starving, because they need to go outside, they're thirsty, and you don't do anything about it. It doesn't bother you. Like, you obviously can't be in a normal state of mind to be okay with something like that happening.
According to Hancock County court records, there are currently no criminal charges pending.
A spokesperson for the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry, which oversees the Animal Welfare Program, declined comment, citing the ongoing investigation.